My next guest, one of the most prolific television producers in the industry, Peter Engel, is with us. He's the author of the new book, I Was Saved by the Bell, Stories of Life, Love, and Dreams That Do Come True. Of course, he is the producer of the iconic show, Saved by the Bell. Peter, great to have you on WILS.
It's a great way to end the year.
Now, I'm sure everyone's heard of Saved by the Bell. How big of a show did it become, ultimately?
Well, it became beyond anything I imagined. I mean, no comedy, was on network and on syndication stations. It still is on many stations right now, everywhere. But no comedy had ever gone past 6 English-speaking countries. Saved by the Bell ended up in 85 countries. And there was a reason for that. Every kid went to school, and he or she wanted to see how the California kids lived and went to school. So it was mind-boggling. It was beyond anything we ever imagined.
Did it give kids an accurate idea of what high school was going to be like for them? Or?
That's a high school I would have liked to go to. It will not give them an idea what high school, but it will give them an idea what friendships were about, and how no matter how much the kids scammed or tried to get out of something or change something, at the end of the day, without parental intervention, they usually did the right thing.
We're talking to Peter Engel, his brand new book, I Was Saved by the Bell. Now, one of the things you write about is in your incredible career as a TV producer, how often you were knocked down and had your heart broken. What was the most extreme moment of that happening? Extreme
moment, I did a show in 1977, 78 called Sorota's Court, based on Judge Sirica putting the Watergate people in jail. And we had these greatest reviews all over the country, and we just faded away. We did like 20. We were before our time, and that broke my heart. Because that was the first time I got into a creative mood where I could make a difference rather than do some variety show or some whatever. And that broke my heart. But I had my heart broken a million times. But it's how you come up off the floor. You just can't let anyone steal your dream.
Now, how did you end up getting into the TV business to begin with?
Well, I fell in love with it as a 12-year-old boy when we had a first set in our building. I saw the Milton Berle Texaco Star Theater variety show. Anyway, I was going to NYU and film school, and I wanted to be an NBC page. To me, that was it at that point. Not ABC, not CBS, 30 Rock. And they only took applications by mail. And I just stormed in there one day, which is way out of character for me, because I was a very shy kid at 18. And I just talked my way in, and then I began that way. I went to school during the day, and I worked at NBC at night. And had the whole row, had the whole 30 Rock situation. We could walk anywhere, go anywhere.
Did you ever get to points where things were not working out and you even thought about leaving the industry completely? Or?
No, it got bad.
Never that bad, huh?
Never that bad. Oh, I used to say to my wife, before Bell hit was Bell. Remember, I didn't have my first hit till Bell, and then I had 9 more in a row. I said, I'm never going to work again. I'm done. My moment is gone. And then Brendan Todikoff, the president of NBC, said, why don't you do a live-action show on Saturday morning? And I said, why don't you get someone else? Anyway, my wife talked me into doing it, and I went back, and the rest is history. But
is it harder nowadays to get into the TV business, would you say, or easier?
Well, I'm getting out.
You're done.
But it's always hard, okay? You would think with the 9,000 channels we have now there'd be more opportunities, but it's always hard to get in. And the best way to get into television would be to write your way in. Everyone loves a new script that's got something special.
Talking to Peter Engel, though, his brand new book, I Was Saved by the Bell. I'm curious because I read that you were raised Jewish, right? But then you converted to Christianity. Can you tell me?
I'm still Jewish. I don't belong to any organization, but I'm still Jewish, very Jewish, more Jewish since I became with Jesus.
I should say that I pulled this out of Wikipedia. Now, is that inaccurate, that sentence, or
what?
You converted to Christianity.
Well, I became a believer in Jesus. I don't know if I converted anything.
Can you tell me what led to that?
That was a moment that would take too long to explain, where I, who believed in nothing, met Jesus and a supernatural experience, and that's in the book, and it changed my life.
How old were you at the time?
I was I was about 40 something.
Oh, really? No kidding. And so later in life, you're saying?
Yes. Well, all my hits came in life. I always tell people that television business is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And, the greatest football coach of all time, Vince Lombardi, didn't become a head coach till he was 53. Forget winning. Hits come when they come, and misses come, and you can't give up.
And do you believe that moment, did that affect your career? Do you believe it helped you in some ways? Or?
Absolutely. I wouldn't have had the patience, the calmness, the support I had to do. I ended up doing 6 shows at the same time. One is a full-time job. And it was because of the state of mind I was in, the peace I enjoyed. And
which you did not have beforehand, you're saying?
I did not have. I had rage against the machine, for the machine before that.
Oh, you were an angry person before that, you're saying?
I was angry and, not angry all the time, but there was a rage in me.
And that changed, you're saying, within a moment, essentially, is that right?
And within moments, yes.
And
I don't think I could have handled all the things that came my way. If it
had not been for that. Now that's because I was raised in a Jewish family myself. That's why I'm curious about it. It sounds like an interesting moment.
It is an interesting thing, but I became more Jewish when I went to Israel. Trying to walk in Jesus' footsteps. I don't mean literally. I meant figuratively.
And did that happen after that moment?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
And so
I'm more Jewish, I think, than I ever was. I mean, I read the Old Testament and the New Testament. I never read the Old Testament in my life.
And religion really became a bigger... So when you were younger, religion just wasn't something that you were interested in?
It was very peripheral. It was not a major piece of my life.
Okay. One last question. Was there a vision that you had, or can you just give me a sense of what that moment was?
It was a vision. It was a vision and a visit. And you can read about it. Get my book.
The book, by the way, is I Was Saved by the Bell. When you look back at your enormous success, are there any things that you even, would you say, regret in any way, or is that part of your thinking in some way?
I am greatly blessed with no regrets. I guess as opposed to snatch the regrets I've got. The regrets I've not. It all made the journey so much richer. Even the being knocked down so many times.
And those that maybe, I'm sure you saw many in Hollywood that did not make it. What would you say the difference was between someone like yourself and those that don't?
You can't give up. You have to have a passion. I mean, I say to young people all the time, if you can make a living at something you love, whatever it might be, designing, writing, decorating, accounting, if you can make a living like you do, what you do, doing something you love, you're going to have a happy life.
In your passion in terms of television, what would you say the core of it was?
Passion was to make a difference. And we did. We did. I won the first diversity award. I won many of those. I never got my Emmy, but I got other awards. The point I'm saying is we were the first show to cast colorblind. I don't even think I was aware of what I was doing. And I think that generation, we call them the Bell generation, there's some really good people in that generation. I find I meet people who say, you taught me right from wrong. And I would, really? That's pretty flattering.
And what is life like for you now? What do you do nowadays?
Well, now I did the book. I don't produce in person like Last Comic Standing keeps coming back. I still own it, but I don't do it in person.
You got into reality television after.
Yeah, with Last Comic Standing,
And what do you think the future of television is with what you're seeing today?
What I think the future is?
Yeah.
I think the future is right now. I think there's great things on television. I mean, they're terrific programmers.
Is this the best era in television in your view? Or?
I can't say the best, but certainly one of the best.
What's your favorite television? What are you watching yourself?
What do I watch?
Yeah.
I watch other kinds of shows, but I love The Big Bang Theory, and I love NCIS Mark Harmon's The Neighbor. And I don't watch too many sitcoms or dramas. I'm more into reading and news and public affairs and now and things like that.
Now, when you look at that, the Saved by the Bell, the show itself, is there anything that you'd say has the same kind of feeling that connects to young people today on television?
I'm not sure. It was a much kinder and gentler time, and we took on subjects that were unheard of at the time, but in a comedic way, which then turned into drama. I don't know if there's anything that right now that affects that generationally.
Interesting.
I'm not sure.
You say there's a kinder, gentler time. You mean on television? Or
there was a kinder, gentler time in the early from 80. We ran from 89 to 95. It was a kinder, gentler time, and I'm not sure the sarcasm of today would translate as naively as we did it.
Peter Engel, his brand new book, Story of His Life, I Was Saved by the Bell, Stories of Life, Love, and Dreams That Do Come True. I didn't ask you about the love part, but I'm guessing there was
love. There were 3 beautiful ex-wives. I had all the drama I need.
3 all exes. Is there a current one there too? Or
there's no current. There's no current. I'm here at the beach now. I live at the ocean in Santa Monica. And I'm looking at the ocean and the sunset, and I'm saying, it doesn't get any better than that.
Is there going to be another wife potentially in the future? Or?
No.
Okay.
No, thank you.
One last thing, Peter. I've got to ask you, do you believe your career affected the marriages, the fact that you were working and so busy? Or?
And two of the first 2, yes. The last one was 20 years, so it wasn't a short time.
That's a long one. Peter?
Yeah, it was a long one. Yes, it did. The drive for a hit. The passion. I gotta have a hit. I was a much gentler person later on, and all the hits came.
When you became gentle, that's when the hits came.
Yeah.
And do you think that went hand in hand? Is it because of your gentleness that the hits occurred?
I think it became because I didn't have any anger and rage. I had Saved by the Bell was the most fun I ever had in my life. I mean, it was just a great party.
It's interesting because a lot of people feel that rage can drive people to success. What do you think about that?
Rage drove me in the opposite direction. And joy and hope and peace really changed my life, and that was the reason I had 9 hits after that.
Fantastic. Peter Engel. You can find him online, by the way. I was savedbythebell.com. Peter, it's been very insightful. Really enjoyed it here on WILS. Peter, thanks.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.